All right, so I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Black Baby Moms BBM. I'm your girl, your host, Margie, and I'm super excited about this episode because I have a very special guest. I know this very special guest from my other friendships, my other friend, really, this is our older sister, Geidi. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Margie. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to this episode because I feel like we have so much in common.
Yes, we do.
And we have like a lot of similarities with motherhood, with dating, with parenting, just all of that in general. Just we understand each other.
Yes.
So I'm excited as always. I'm just gonna dive right into these topics, y'all, and just tune in. So I was a mom at like 20. I got pregnant at 23. Had my baby at 24. I don't know if that's considered like young motherhood versus older motherhood, but I really have experienced different like walks of life being a younger mom versus like the 40-year-old mom or the 50-year-old mom. How has it been like for you? Like, when did you have your kids?
Well, I had my first daughter when I was 19, so I was definitely not ready for motherhood. Motherhood was very, very hard. Even when I have three girls, so every time I had a child, it was hard, right?
Every single time.
But 19 was young. 19 was young, and it was hard.
Yeah. I feel like being a 19-year-old mom is it's got to be difficult, but back in the day, did you guys have social media? Like, not back in the day, no disrespect, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, so this was like the early 2000s. I think MySpace was out, but
MySpace?
No, was it MySpace?
It was MySpace.
No.
Black Planet.
No, I never even was on Black Planet. I think Facebook. It was Facebook, but Facebook was only for college students.
Facts.
So
it was. In the
earlier
stages.
Yeah, in the earlier stages. So, but no, we didn't have really social media. Cell phones wasn't really a thing. We were just kind of getting out of beepers. I'm telling on my age, but yeah, it was like.
She don't look like it.
Yeah, we were like beepers were, and then it was like Nextels. It was like we had Nextels, but yeah, social media wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a thing. Do you feel like it was ever like different, like having social media, being a younger mother versus like say 2022, these younger moms?
Yeah. Absolutely. We still had distractions, but it's crazy with social media now. No, it's nowhere near.
I feel like it would be a lot harder for us to be younger moms in this day and age. Super judgmental.
Yeah, I'm glad. Okay,
No, tell the truth.
I'm glad that. Obviously, I could have done things differently, but I'm glad that things went the way that they went. And I had a supportive mom, my family. I had my challenges, even though we didn't have social media. Things were starting to pop off around that time, but I wasn't that entrenched into it,
Yeah. And so, being that your kids are a little bit older now, how's your life? I feel like, really quick, my daughter, a lot of people know my daughter, she's like 7 years old. By the time I'm maybe in my 40s or something, like, she'll be older and I'll be living my life. Okay?
See?
So how is it like now?
Okay, so I have 3 daughters, and they're all in different ages. Like, my oldest is 21. My middle one is about to be 16, and then my youngest is 11.
Beautiful daughters. My dad.
My baby. Shout out to my babies.
Period.
So when they were young, it was hard.
Yeah.
We'll tap on that subject later with the whole baby daddy thing.
We'll get into that, y'all.
I don't share, as she knows, I don't share the same experience as most women, because the father of my kids is a great father. He was always helped me with everything. So he wasn't always a great partner, but he was always the best
great
dad. So when they were younger, yes, things were hard. It was young. I was a young mom. It was annoying. Like, oh my gosh, and I have to prioritize them. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I didn't really get to live my youth and like be like free, whatever. However, this is what I was trying to tell you earlier.
Yeah.
If I could go back to them being little, no, Margie, seriously.
Tell us. Be
because
real.
like when they're older, yes, it gets easier, right? Because they're independent, right? They
wait.
Yeah, no, yes, but you can though, because so much is out of your control. And the world that we're living in right now. I'm sorry, I don't want to tear up, but I'm constantly worried about. I don't know.
You never know, like the unknown. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's not even them. It's other people. And I know what it's like to be a teenager. Especially girls. They're just so emotional. They have so much emotions. It's like.
And super vulnerable, I feel.
Super vulnerable, like, and then because we live in social media, like, so it's to me for when they're younger, it's hard. It's hard emotionally, but it's also physically, right? Because you're tired, like the late nights and the waking up and the getting them ready and the hair and the cooking and the this and the that. So yeah, it's hard. But when you're older, it's more of an emotional.
Is it more like mental?
Mental. It's a mental. Even girl.
Because there's so many. I feel like things that I won't be able to even help or facilitate
from
control.
Boyfriends to toxic friendships, and it's like you want to go in there and like
yoke these little kids up.
You know what I mean?
But you actually can't do after a certain point.
Right. You have to let them make their own decisions. And as a mom, like every time I know, like my oldest daughter's in college, so she's on campus. Even though I don't talk to her every single day, she's on my mind every day, all day. Like I think about her, I worry about what she's doing. I don't care for her significant other at the time. You know, like it's just I
Am I gonna be like that mom? That's like
you might.
I don't like your boyfriend.
I know. And because we've been there, we know.
But we
like
understand
with the toxic. Shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And like you wanna,
you can kind of tell that stuff.
Yes, and then like my middle daughter, like she, and then my youngest, it's just too much. It's just too much outside influence when you just don't have control like you used to when they were little.
So I feel like you're right because I have trouble now being like, gee, they're not really your friends. So I can't even imagine like when she gets older. And
I tell them all the time, like I've had to block friendships from her. So when I was growing up, my mom, because when I was growing up, my mom didn't really like my friends. She didn't. I'm sorry, guys.
I thought my mom.
I don't even like half of them anymore either.
But I thought my mom was the only one that was like, that's not.
No, but my mom never.
Stop.
She would complain and she would always tell me, "Girl, that's not your friend." But she never really intervened, But I will, just because I know I have a toxic friend.
You're like, nah.
My friends were big. A lot of listen, I'm not blaming that, but I feel like who you're around does play a part.
It plays on who you
absolutely
kind of like become.
Yes, it plays on, and I have so many wounds that I'm still unpacking at my big age, from hurts, from betrayals, from just bad friendships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, even though my mom would tell me, she never really muscled that like strong. Like I will. I'll tell my girl.
Let's talk about it because you're right. Our mothers are actually very similar. My mom is a devout Christian, very spiritual person.
As well.
So she used to literally be like, "That's not your friend, and stay away from this person." I'd be like, "Mom, you don't even know." But it's the discernment I feel like they have.
More for my friends, you can tell me.
They couldn't tell us nothing. I could be like, "Mom, no, you're wrong," but she was right.
She was right.
She was 100% right.
Oh, she was right every time.
Every time.
About everybody.
Yeah. And so you're right. I think as our girls get older, it's hard to be like, no, you're not hanging out with this person. You're not doing it.
You're not doing it, and you're not. You're just not. And
yeah.
I'm not gonna name my daughter since I don't want to put
a
specific ones. But I have strong arm. I've had two strong arm situations where like you're not allowed to talk to her. You will not hang out with her. You will not talk to her. And then because of what I went through, like I'm constantly having conversations with my daughter. It's like. Yeah. If somebody does this, they're not your friend. Don't let people put limitations on you. Do not let people. If your friend doesn't invite you, they didn't want you to go. It's not
You're
personal.
Just being very real.
It's not personal, but it is personal. If you're hurt, you don't need to deal with it. Like whatever it is. Like, your friends will influence you in ways that you will like know. And some people in my life tell me that I'm too open, that I'm too honest with my girls. They don't even know. It's not like I'm telling them all the nitty gritties of my life.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like they've seen me struggle.
What if our parents told us that nitty gritty?
Exactly.
I'm just curious if they would have said more than that's not really
right.
your friend. We can hear what they felt and then maybe avoided some of the stuff, because you're 100% right. We are so real that I'm gonna just tell G like, no, they're doing this, and this.
And I think living by example, because my daughters have seen me struggle and they've seen me go through like toxic, like. I had my best friend of 20 years, you know what I'm saying? We had such a toxic, I'm not going to put it all on her. Yeah. I have my own toxic ways, you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it'd be us.
But that relationship, it was almost like, it wasn't a romantic, but it was just as toxic. We had a codependent friendship, and when we had our fallout a couple of years ago, like my daughters knew her, they knew me, who I was when I was friends with her. They see the difference now that I'm not friends with her. They've seen my struggle in my life, like things that I didn't accomplish. Like they can see, so I feel like my life is an example for them. So my daughters listen to me, like when it comes to certain stuff, and
they really look up to you.
Yeah, then they like they'll be like, "Mom, no," you know. And so when I tell them certain things, I'm not perfect. So when they see going from who I was to who I'm becoming, it's like
it's a beautiful thing.
They get it now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're smarter than me. Even my middle daughter, she's a G. She's a G. Like she's very much. She's a lot like me, but she's not though, because she has like an emotional strength that I didn't have at her age.
And that's the goal, is we want our kids to be like us, but not like all the negative in us. You want them to be like all the good. And not like us, but in a good way.
I want her to be softer sometimes, but I understand where she's, and I think maybe that's what it is in her watching me be such a people pleaser and be naive. It's almost like repulsive to her. And she's like, "Mom, you're too nice. Mom, you're too forgiving, Mom." Okay. Like she
come on, middle child.
She's the one.
She straight up. Mommy, they're not your friends. Yeah. I love that.
And I'm like, really? Because I think she was kind of nice.
But you're teaching them well
like,
then.
No. She was like, no. And she has, look, if you hurt her, if you do her, she don't give people, even family members. She's very hard. She's very hard on second chances.
I'm with it.
And I'll be like, okay, girl, dang.
No, honestly, I'm with it, because she seems to have a grip on life, because it's only going to get worse. I'm sorry.
Right.
From here, so to be able to discern the realness and the fakeness, and just, be careful about your peace, your surroundings, that's a gift. So shout out to her.
She's definitely the one in the two when it comes to stuff like that. And I think it's because she watched me be hurt. She watched me be crying about stuff. And so she's like, she hates that whole thing. Even she could love you to death as her best, if you could be her best friend, but if you do the slightest thing, she's like, "Oh, we're not friends no more because you're not about to do me." I'm like, "Girl, but maybe she was having a bad." Nope, Mom, no, because I wouldn't do that. I be having bad days all the time, and I wouldn't do that to her. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." True.
No, but that's real.
Right.
That's real. I have to sometimes sit back and be like, well, maybe they didn't mean to do this. But I look at myself and I'm like, I would never act that way.
Yeah.
So there is logic behind, if somebody did you wrong, maybe it was on purpose. And so it's not like
I still struggle with that. I've been through a lot, but I still get played.
I know.
I still get played sometimes.
It's the niceness in us. And it's like that, we try to give people the benefit of the doubt, or we try and be positive. But sometimes you just gotta see a person for who they are.
For me, it's a blessing and a curse. I know I'm not for everybody when it comes to stuff like that.
And that's cool, because there's gonna be people that like us, the people that don't like us, and life goes on. I promise you, y'all.
Pretty much.
So that brings me to my next topic. It sounds like you have 3 beautiful daughters. I know them, and they're amazing. I know the whole family, and so I also am aware that I have a little bit different perspective, y'all. Y'all know my history, you know my story, and if you don't, run that back a few episodes for last season. But there have been drama, there has been issues, drama, and stuff with my daughter's father, my baby daddy. But you have a totally different outlook on that, totally different perspective, which I respect and I honestly really admire. So I want to hear y'all, how did that happen? Y'all have a peaceful co-parenting relationship, and the big thing about it is I feel like we've talked about peaceful co-parenting, and maybe daddy's the parent is not around, and that's why it's so peaceful. But y'all have a different situation, so talk about it,
girl.
Yeah.
So me, the
Teach
father,
us.
So I do not have the recipe. I think he's just a great person, and I'm a pretty decent person myself. That doesn't mean that we didn't have we outgrew each other. We had our toxic shit with
So
us.
like the relationship was
Our relationship, that's a whole nother topic.
Okay,
we can
but parenting.
But parenting.
Top tier.
Yeah, like I have a lot of friends, and I can't say I can relate all the time to the majority when it comes to like the whole baby mama thing. Because the father of my kid, I don't even like calling him baby daddy. Because
you want to give him that respect.
Because I want to give him that respect, and because
on.
he's so much more to me. Even now, like, you know, we know each other so well where I can be like, all right, I can't talk to you right now because you about to get we not about to. Yeah. I respect him. He respects me. But at the end of the day, he's literally like, he's always been Team Haiti. Like, there's nobody more in my corner than he is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we have been
like
at events
the
and
best dad.
You've been like, he drove me here, or he just
picked me
did
up.
whatever. And I feel like that is something I would never get from my baby father.
He always helps
It's
me.
a beautiful thing.
Like, even now we live apart. Like, he lives where he lives, I live where he comes over to drop off the girls. If he comes inside, like, if he sees the trash, he's like, oh, I'll take the trash out for you. Like, he helps me with something was going on with my air filter. Like,
we need him on this to teach some of y'all men.
He's the bomb.
Yeah.
His and our relationship didn't work out we met when we were like 22.
Okay.
21, 22. We were mad young.
Yeah.
And we just outgrew each other.
Yeah.
You know, we just don't see eye to eye on things like, you know, other things. But when it comes to stuff like that, like
parenting, being there for his kids,
he always helped me with everything. I can't say he didn't help me like when the kids were little. Like, okay, diapers, cooking. I was that mom. I would wake up on the weekends like freaking out, like, oh my god, babe, we have so much to do. We gotta do. Oh my god, I gotta do laundry. I gotta cook. We gotta go to the grocery store. Oh my god, it's hair wash day. He'd be like, done. I'm like, dang.
I love it.
What? He's like super proactive. Like he's just that guy.
Okay, so you have all the tips of choosing the right father for your kids.
I can't even say that.
Tell us.
I can't say because I've made very poor choices in men. So I don't think
we all have. We're all been there.
I don't think it was anything that I did. I just think I was blessed in that department.
Yeah, for sure. It's a blessing because when I tell you, like, that whole mental health when it comes to raising your kids, just having the support of the person that you made the kids with, like, y'all don't have to always be together. Like, me and my baby father, we're not together, but to have that, like, just positivity and support, it goes a long way because even if it's not like we're a couple relationship, but be there for your kid because that's essentially helping everybody out. So I think it's a beautiful thing.
He's awesome.
He's
literally the best. Shout out to him.
Shout out to him.
We're not going. But.
So you can honestly have a whole peaceful co-parenting relationship with mom, dad, everybody involved. Doesn't have to be like separated and it's peaceful.
No, it comes to like our family, and sometimes I wonder how that looks like because he's dated. I know some of the women that he's dated, they have a huge problem with him being. Girl, listen, and as a woman, I understand, and I've told him before, like, do what you have to do so your girl can feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
Question though, is it okay for your kid's father to show up for events that involve them and y'all are not together, and it's not disrespectful to his significant other, or vice versa for you? Is that okay?
And that's a touchy subject, right?
But we gotta talk about it. It's real, y'all.
Because I like to think because I've dated, I don't know, because like, I dated my ex, right? He has kids or whatever. Like, I respect her. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, and when
would you be comfortable?
Yeah, because of my relationship that I have with the father of my kids. Sure. But if you have, and I understand, because you know how social media and the people are always like, oh, everybody's always involved with their baby daddy, and I'm like, yeah, that's not the case for me. Like the father of my kids, like he's still close with my family. Like
he be at events.
That's how you know him, right?
Yeah.
Baby showers, birthday parties. He's close with my mom. My sister's like, so it's nothing for him to come over for Thanksgiving or to stop by for. He could be in a whole relationship and I'm in a whole relationship. I'll give him a hug, sit down, give him a plate. Like I know his family. Like
it sounds like y'all are just family. Like,
and that's who he is to me. So whoever I date needs to understand that. Like, there's nothing going on. He loves me. Yes, I love him. We have kids together. We were together for 10 years.
But but on the flip side, do you see why people?
No, I get that. That makes people uncomfortable. I get it. But again, like with my ex, right? Whenever he gets to beefing with his baby mama or whatever, like he'll tell you himself. He'll be like, no, you don't understand. I'm like, babe, no. Like you should help her. She's having issues with her car. You should help her.
Maturity.
You know what I mean? She needs money, babe. You should help her.
Yes.
Like I won't even let him get petty as petty as he wants to be. He wanna be.
But it's clear that clearly they're not together. You understand that. You see that. You recognize that. But you also are like impressing upon him, like it's important for you to be there for her.
Yeah, I don't expect if I date somebody and I feel like they have a toxic relationship with that's a red flag.
I'm about to say red flag. That's not okay. Ladies, if your significant other has kids and they have beef or drama or anything with their kid's mom or whatever, that it's a red flag, y'all.
And maybe because I've heard this before, like people tell me, "Oh my God, Haiti, you're living in a fantasy world," and I'm like, maybe I'm a dreamer. I believe in miracles, but can't we all just have a big blended family? Like in my mind, my dream situation would be he meets somebody, I meet somebody, and we all just one big happy family. Like I would want him to be friends with my new man. Like, okay, that's so cute. Like, and I would want to be friends with your. I'm around your kids. I'm potentially gonna be a part of their lives.
Yeah.
Like,
so let's all come together,
like
mesh well.
What is all of this? Separate birthdays, separate, like, oh my God.
I'm a product.
I would have to respect whatever the situation. Like if I meet somebody and I love them, if she doesn't like me, I mean, what can I do? I mean, but I'm always gonna try. I would never overstep that situation. Like I stay in my lane when it comes to that.
I respect it.
And I encourage him to like just don't fight. Like just be there for her. That's your mother of your kids.
Yeah.
I know what it's like.
Yeah. And that brings me to a point of like that whole mentality of like not beating up the mother of your kids. That's what it sounds like. Like your kid's dad isn't trying to bring you down just because y'all didn't work out. He's not trying to be a negative role in your life just because y'all are not together. And it can be done. It 100% can be done. And I just want to put that out there. I really admire that about y'all. Because I have been on the flip side of things where it's like, we can't be blended because we just can't even get along. But it also makes me question if you stop messing around with the other people. Is that what plays a role?
I think when people,
we gotta get real.
I mean, when you still dipping back and forth.
Is that what creates the...
I think so. Yeah. And that's a big one.
You're right.
But once, even if you're not dipping into it, I think people's ego and pride gets in the way. I think it's like an entitlement thing. And I'm only speaking because I've been there. Yeah. We didn't just overnight, but
that's why I'm like, teach us.
But the number one thing I think for us, because we love our daughters so much, that we seen how our toxic shit was affecting them.
Like spiraling.
It was spiraling to the point where it was affecting them. And so at that point, I have to get out of my whatever pride, whatever, like, that's my baby father, like, you're not gonna be, he can, like, or whatever he felt about me, like, it's not even about me.
It's about the kids.
It's not about you. And if I'm not mentally stable, because I struggle with mental health, I struggle with depression, I struggle he had his own issues, he's ex-military, so he had PTSD and things like, you know what I mean? Like, we both struggle with our own things individually.
Right.
And we brought that into a relationship, and then, like, when he was messed up, when me and him were beefing, like, he couldn't parent properly. When I'm mentally fucked up. I'm sorry, I have a potty mouth sometimes, guys.
You're allowed to do that here.
When I'm mentally fucked up, I can't mom right. And then him and I can't communicate. Well, you said you was dropping him off. Well, you said you was picking him up. Well, you said there was going to be
when
this.
there's all that type of,
it's just too much.
Drama.
And it's just like, and my kids they pick up on, you know what I'm saying? And then it was,
my daughter too.
Once you get tired,
she'd be like, Mommy, I heard y'all. I'm like, oh my God.
I think once and I'm still trying to clean, I think both of us will still, there's been times, like, not too long ago, right? Because he still triggers me, because we're not perfect. Wow. But my daughter gave me a shout out. She was like, Mom, I saw how you handled that. She was like, kudos to you.
Okay.
Because she already knew he was about to.
And Mom was this close.
I was like this, and I said, And I literally sat back and I asked them, because we were having a miscommunication about transportation once again. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so how is your anger going to help the situation? Because, like, you know, and I just really, and they were just, because my daughters, they but do him, or whoever, he received that well? Like, yes, because when I say that to mine, it just sparks even worse. No, because we've been there, done that. Okay. And I think he's also growing as well. Yeah. And he took a breather. We'll talk about it, and he'll come back and he'll be like, you know what? We also have learned how to, like, if I'm wrong, and I'll apologize, which was something that was really hard for me to do back then. It's really hard because for a lot of black people or anybody. Yes, I'm gonna tell. But when it comes to, because I care about this relationship, I want him to be good. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I'm wrong, I'll apologize, and I'm like, you know what? I wasn't trying to offend you. I really wasn't trying to trigger you. He's working on it. He's so much better. But he definitely came back. He stepped away for a minute, and he came back, and he was like, all right. So it takes a lot of growth and just, like, you know, accountability. Yes. And I'm big on gender roles. That's for a whole other topic. I'm real old school with the whole woman-man thing. Okay, hold on. Let's talk about that, though, because I think that whole gender roles thing is still very relevant, even as generation that be like, people, no, and the feminist thing, I get it, but men want to be respected and be like the one. Exactly. And I've had those kind of conversations. I said, what kind of, because I'm a woman, I'm gonna follow suit. So if you start popping off, I can pop off louder. Okay. I respect a man who is, like, controlled. Yeah. I'm not saying don't have emotions, but or get up, but, like, you know what I mean? Okay. And I was like, you know, how is, and also this we're having this tiff in front of people and in front of the kids, most importantly, all right? Mm. So if you get angry, now I'm getting angry. And now everybody's angry. Now we all uncomfortable in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's happy. And nobody's happy, right? So, like, yes, I know I might have not communicated, like, and I'm sorry, you know, but how is your anger, like, how is this helping the situation? At this point, I'm just worried about solutions. Yeah. Yes. I'm so, like, you know, let's just be solution oriented at this point. Like, because I hate when people, no, because, like, okay, we get it. I got it. Yeah. I got it. So, like, moving forward, how, like, I don't want to, like, this was 10 hours ago, like, whatever it was, like. So, like, people do talk and communicate like that, just trying to prove their point or try and win the conversation and be like, okay, you got it, you won, but now let's move forward, let's figure it out. At my age, peace over everything. Yes, like, peace over everything. If you want to argue by yourself, I'm cool, like, I'm good. Peace over everything, y'all, that part. Yeah. So peaceful co-parenting with baby daddy, baby mama, however you call yourself, whoever you are, it can be done. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I'm learning from you. And dad in the picture, honestly, it's a beautiful thing. So that kind of brings me into the next topic of, we're basically not your average parents, not your average moms, not your typical moms. And what I mean by that basically is, I feel like we beat the odds, where life has been hard, throwing everything that they can at us as single parents. You have 3 beautiful children. I have 1, and I still feel like it's a lot. It's a whole lot. And to do it by yourself, mental health, work, financial stressors, the inflation right now, and we still just won't quit, no matter what. And life gets hard. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I've been there, where I'm just like, it's super easy to just be like, I don't need to deal with this anymore.
but we won't stop because of these beautiful children. I look at my daughter and I'm like, no matter what, I'm here for her, no matter what. And for me, that's a part of being the odds. Also, I'm not your typical mom where it's like, I like to have fun. I like to go out. I like to have my time with just me or my friends or whoever I need to pour back into me. And for me, that's not your typical mom.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? We have parents that are there. Shout out to them. They're with the kids 24/7 all the time, almost like no breaks.
Yeah.
I've seen the flip side of that, and I'm like, I need a break.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm not your typical average mother or parent. I don't know. What say you? and be real.
No, because when you told me about that, I was like, what does she mean by that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, and it's a hard topic for me to talk about because I feel like people judge me.
This is a safe place, a safe space, y'all.
Yeah.
Judgment
so this
free.
goes back into when we were talking about the father of my kids being great.
Yeah.
He hasn't always been so because being in a relationship is hard for me sometimes too. Just because anything that involves me giving you 100% of my time is going to be hard for me.
Why?
Because I struggle with, I just need my time. And it's not about.
Is it time for you? Like you need your time, or is it like
I
time
need to
for you?
decompress. Like I need my alone time.
I need
my time.
I love that.
I handle things. I internalize things. I deal with things on my own. Like I need to isolate for a little bit. You know what I mean? So
I 100%. I'm like, don't bother me,
please. You know what I'm saying? And that's hard, especially like I'm just an introvert. I extrovert when I need to if I'm around the right people. Depending on who you ask, you're gonna get a different like, oh my gosh, she's so quiet. She doesn't even talk to anybody. She's in the corner. She's awkward. And if it's people that I'm comfortable with, they'll be like, oh my gosh, she talks so much. She won't
stop talking.
You know what I mean? So it just really depends on.
But it's your comfort level.
But my preference is to be alone.
Yeah.
Like my preference is to be like I can only even with the people that I love the most. It's in doses.
Amounts.
Yeah.
Small amounts. We love y'all. And it's probably vice versa. But
there's some
small
people,
doses.
There's some people who need to be around people all the time.
Yeah.
They always need to have a sidekick.
Codependent.
You know what I mean?
Whatever.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, you trying to come to the store with me? You trying to do this? And I'm like, I do that. If I'm give you that much of my time, you gotta know I love you.
Yeah.
Like if I'm willing to share my, and people, I live alone, so it's like people always assume that I'm not doing anything. And like honestly, if I give you any bit of my time on that level, like you gotta know. But I feel like people don't because people don't always appreciate that about me, and I don't know. They might not know how I am, but you know my level of care for you depending on the amount of time that I give you.
Yeah.
I go above. I do the best that I can with my girls because those are my children. You know what I'm saying? Relationships have been a bit of a struggle when it comes to that, but yeah, being a mom, that was one of the hardest things about being a mom.
And I feel like that is something we relate on too, is because, we date outside of, kids, dad, whatever. Obviously, it didn't work out, so we're dating. And we have to remember we have kids or whatever the case may be. And so, not your typical mom because we have to navigate all of that.
Yeah, and so like, you watch all these like mommy channels and they get so excited about like cupcakes and like all this mom shit, and I'm like,
we don't do that. Like I'm not into that. Those little pumpkin patches, they're so cute. I don't make it ever like any year.
And they have like their whole like page is like dedicated, like it's almost like being a mom is like their whole identity.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking it. Listen,
it's a beautiful thing.
I admire that. Actually, I'm like, because my mom was like that, right? And I think that's where I had an adverse reaction to it, because even now. My mom I love my mom so much.
Love her.
She's the best.
Love her, mommy.
But she literally has, we're her life still.
You have 4 kids and then decide.
Yeah, I know.
You know
and she also didn't have help from our father. So, that's
y'all are her life.
My father was yeah, our father was just not. She was literally a single mom. Like she did. So again, I'm blessed that I have the ability to have that my time when I need it. He's awesome.
But we're not your typical.
No. But again, I feel like when I'm dealing with other, women who are, they're like, oh my gosh, so you're not with your kids all the time? And I'm like,
no. And it's helpful because I think we do have a certain situation where we need those breaks.
I need a break.
I need a break, y'all. Like, and honestly, some of y'all moms that are living the life that we're talking about, y'all need a break.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk about it and say, I need a break, because how can you know your identity? How can you keep who you really are if you don't take time for you? And so I'm just to encourage somebody.
When I don't get the break, I'm not fun to be around.
Yeah. This is just to encourage y'all. You need breaks for yourself. 100%. 10%. Yeah. So that brings me into, we're not your typical, we're not your average moms. We talk about, a little bit about that, but dating versus promiscuity, you know what I mean? For example, you could be dating, you could be exploring the dating pool. I've talked about this a few episodes back. It's got a little piss in it, it's a little stank. But you can be dating and not be sexually, romantically involved with these people, just getting to know people, just building a friendship versus being promiscuous and sleeping around with everyone. There's a huge, huge difference. And I wanted to bring that up because I feel like I have people in my circle or people in my life that have walked through different aspects of that. They're being a little promiscuous. To each their own. Cool. We all been there. But then also it's like I'm dating to try and build something here, build a relationship. And you can't just do that off of physical every single time. So I don't know. How is dating for you versus the guys that are just trying to sleep with you? Because they're those people exist. Sick. We talked about.
Yeah, no, because we hopped right into because it was like the dating mom thing. Yeah. So that was gonna loop into the. I am in a completely different. I've never been promiscuous. Do I have some mistakes I've made? Yes. But I always value connection and I've never been interested in just having sex with anybody. You know what I mean? Like
same. And for anybody who wants to know, I just want to clarify promiscuity. I'm looking up the definition right here, right now. The fact or state of being promiscuous. I'm looking for like an actual definition. Promiscuity is the practice of engaging in sexual activity frequently with different partners and being indiscriminate in the choice of sexual partners. No, we're not that. I'm not.
No. Right.
I'm not doing it. Like, I want to know who I'm involved with. Like, part of my connection is getting to know that person. So if we don't have a connection, if I don't know who you are, if I don't even know like where you work, your last name, no.
Yeah, I've never been. So I can't say that I've never had a sexual encounter with somebody that I wasn't dating or that I didn't think like.
Could lead to something. But have I thought about it?
yeah, that life is not for me. Which is another episode for another day, but I have trauma from my childhood that I just can't, certain things I just, not knocking it, there's people who do that, but for me.
Yeah.
Now in my life, I don't know, because this generation is so with the whole dating thing. Like people,
they're with it, y'all. They're with it.
They are. And then it's like the whole test the waters before. Like I'm not testing no more fucking waters. I'm done with the.
So are we into the like recording?
I don't know. I'm in a season of isolation right now.
Period. Okay.
It's me and Guy right now, and I'm just
entanglement. I'm kidding.
No.
Put your own label on it and your own spin on it and make it yours.
Like because, and it's not that I'm trying to reclaim my virginity. I'm not. I'm very like. It's not even about that. It's just I'm tired of making wrong decisions. Like, I don't even trust my own judgment anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, unless God physically comes down here and was like,
and tell
this
me,
is
this
the man,
is that
this
person.
is your man.
We not trusting it.
And then, like, you know, for women, you know, at least for me, I do, like, if we're getting to the point that I care about you, I either care about you or I think we're going to be something, and then when they hit you, like, oh, we're just dating. I'm like, what you mean we're just dating? So then, and then I'm trying not to be toxic. So it's like, it just eliminates, I'm just not.
So let's talk about it, like
I'm just not there right now.
The clarification, I think, is what.
And that's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe my definition of dating is different than I guess. But I am also a 40-year-old woman, guys. Yes, I'm a 40-year-old woman.
Hard to believe. She looks great.
You know?
I'm taking some pointers from her. Yes.
I'm a 40-year-old woman, and I don't know, or maybe I just never got the right definition of. Because when you say, "Oh, I'm dating,"
What is dating for you?
For me, it's like let's say I meet a guy and we're dating, but in my mind, I can't physically be talking to like 5 niggas at the same time.
I suck at that.
Like,
okay, so I'm not the only one.
So for me, it's like, yeah, we might not be like ready to get married tomorrow, but at the very least, we're exclusive.
Yeah. Because
you know
I be slipping up. I'm texting the wrong person. I done messed up and said the wrong thing. I can't do that.
I'm all about. I'm with anybody who's ever dated me will tell you, unless I wasn't really that interested. But for the most part, I am. And if I'm dating you, I'm really trying to get in your head. Like I like to.
It's that one person.
Yeah, and like that takes time. Like I'm constantly reading people. I'm constantly absorbing energy. I'm trying. Like when I'm talking to you, I'm looking at like I'm trying to consume. Like I'm trying to learn you. I'm trying to.
But that's how it should be.
I want to know. I'm like obsessed with trying to figure out why people are the way they are.
Okay, psychologist.
Like, I know, girl. I should have been. I work for behavioral health.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So.
But that's how it should be.
That.
That's how dating really should be. We've gotten to this generation where you're supposed to be. They think dating different people. How? I can't keep up. I don't want to know what 5 different people is doing all day long. I
can't keep up, and I don't care. I'm not about to. No,
I don't care.
Listen, and dating one person again, like my ex, like it was just he consumed so much of my time. Just the one, like, bro, I can't.
Now I see why these niggas be so annoyed and stressed out because they trying to entertain too many people. And I'm telling you, like, I literally cannot do more than one. It's just too much. It's too much.
Yeah, and then like sleeping with everybody so to me, and that's why I'm not. That's right now I'm actively just not dating.
Okay, I like
because I just don't feel like I have anything to give at the moment. And don't get me wrong, like I've always been like, I don't know if I could be in a relationship because I do like my alone time a lot.
But I think that's the perfect mix for a relationship.
Yeah, but I do get lonely. Like I do be wanting. Sometimes I'll be at night. I'm like,
you be wanting that little like, and me too. Like I'm like, I want that one.
That other side of my bed is literally like
it's a little cold.
No, but it's like literally like my books, my journals, a couple of clothes. Like like I be wanting them to. I do miss that part of a relationship, but I don't want to go through another heartbreak. I don't want to have to share my body with, like, I don't have the next person needs to be my person. And I don't even know what that looks like for me.
Same.
I don't even know if
like, what is that depict right
I honestly just had to, like, this whole year has been, oh my gosh, it's just been hard for me when it comes to that. Yeah. And I'm like, maybe I'm just going to be one of these older,
don't say it.
Single,
don't say it.
Women.
Don't say it. I already know what you're about to say. Single.
These women be like, because some of these women be on here on these socials say, oh, it's so liberating to be, and it is. Okay, it is liberating to be single.
It is.
I love my freedom, and I love being like, I love not having that whole, but I do feel the need for companionship.
Like it's literal science.
Like
people
I'm not even I'm not even gonna sit up here and lie to y'all and be like, oh,
no, I'm independent.
Like, no,
yeah.
for real, like
Yeah, but I'm 100%. That's why I'm like, we're right here because I feel like the same thing. There are times where I look at relationships and I'm like, really want a man telling me what I can and cannot do,
It's
because
not
I've
even-
seen that.
it's
But
not-
also at the same time, I want somebody to be able to do the manly things. We need companionship.
I don't even mind a man telling me what to do, because I expect a man to lead, and I wasn't always like this.
Okay.
I was not. I was
Teach
one of
us.
the. I was one of those like
Strong.
you're not about to
Yeah.
That was one of the issues with the father of my kids and I, because he's very, he's a little bit more,
Traditional.
Yes,
Mhm.
and at the time when him and I were together, I was totally not, and also because of my, I don't know if it's like my culture, because I'm also like I'm
Dominican Republic is in the building.
and so we're like in our culture, it's like men, and I grew up seeing that, and the men in my family just wasn't shit. I'm gonna just be honest.
Yeah.
So I grew up watching men get that type of treatment without, and I'm like, I would never. So I grew up with that mentality, and I grew up in America, so I had
America.
you know what I'm saying?
But you're
like,
not the only one, yeah.
Like I was like, oh, I would never like me serve his plate. Are you fucking kidding me?
But
like,
that's
men
what you have to
no,
do.
But now that I do feel the king, the right man does deserve that treatment. You know what I'm saying?
And I talked about this on the last episode.
Just because you're a man, like if you're not bringing what you need to bring, then you're not. That's just for me. That's just my personal thing. I don't mind. I was raised to be a housewife, so
okay, come on, housewife.
No,
because
I'm
I've
just
talked
saying
about this before, where it's like the right man will make you want to do this.
exactly. So I won't even. For me, the hardest thing is not that. I'm naturally like that. Like I will serve you, I will cook for you, but I've been taken advantage of with that, because people, oh, you Dominican, so you just gonna be cooking like, excuse me.
Hold up.
Like, when I've had dudes tell me that, so they think that because I'm Hispanic or Latino or whatever,
Or just a female.
Or just a female, right? Oh, can you cook? Can you wait a minute? But what? Whoa.
But what do we have here? Because I'm 100%, and I get what you're saying, because I'm 100% doing that for my man, serving, cooking, cleaning, whatever you want,
you need, baby. I got you. Like,
for my man.
That's my problem.
Yes.
But niggas want. I'm sorry, I shouldn't.
No, say these niggas. No, these niggas want to be with one, two, three.
But like men want the most out of you, bringing the least, right? So I'm just not with that. So I have a very.
Say that one more time. Men want the most with you doing the least.
With them doing the least. They want the most out of you, but bring the least.
I got it. Okay.
So
and that's 100% right.
So, but
that's what makes it hard for us to give everything.
But back then, I had a different mentality, because to me, it was like I was repulsed by a man even wanting that from me.
Not repulsed.
I was, because I was like,
yeah.
I'm not doing shit. Like, you better get your own plate. You better do your own, because I'm not doing shit. I'm an independent woman. I don't need you. I don't need no man.
And these niggas like, okay, all right, independent. You about to be in
and
the
that's
real.
I just 40, and I'm fucking,
And
so,
y'all, I'm 31 and still independent. But that is, it's a shift.
And
that
I
we
have to,
make.
So when I talk to younger girls, I'm saying it's okay to have your guards up.
Okay.
You should be independent, and you should, because at the end of the day, a man leaves you.
What do you have?
Exactly.
So,
but it's okay to soften up if you find the right man.
I love that. I love that.
You know
because the
what I'm
right
saying?
man will make you soften up, open
And
up,
the
want to
right
do
man
all of
does
that.
deserve that. But with me, you better be careful how you come. Because depending on how you come at me, you're going to get either or.
Because there are men that take full advantage of that whole kindness for weakness. And that's the hard part. Is trying to decipher, discern between those type of people that are.
And I feel like I'm always at the end of that spectrum, because I think people do take my kindness for weakness. Yeah. Because I naturally am a little naive, and I naturally want to see the good in people. But it's like, don't try to play with me, because you get that. I'll cut you off real quick. Like, I'm very independent.
Once we figure it out.
It's hard for me to allow people to help me. I don't like men trying to position themselves in my life, like, to make where I need them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. I get it.
I need to be okay that if you leave me tomorrow, I'm gonna be good anyway. You know what I'm saying?
And we will find a way.
I really don't need you. And I've had dated men that be like, well, why don't you let me help you? And I'm like, I'm good.
Just until we figure out, the intentions, maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm with it.
Correct.
you're teaching me. You're teaching hopefully somebody else out there too, because honestly, it'd be
I'm
real.
I'm still learning, girl. I don't know. I'm still getting it. I don't know shit for real, guys. I'm just speaking from my experience and where I'm at in my life right now.
I love it. I love it. And so we live this very different life, hot mom life, not your typical average mom. And so that brings me into just rounding things up. Thank you for joining me on this very special episode. It was too real, y'all. And if you feel like you can relate on anything, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to Black Baby Moms BBM on YouTube, on Apple, on Spotify, on Instagram, all those platforms. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you again, Geidi. I can't even thank y'all. Like, for real, like, you have been a dream because you're teaching a lot of us different things about womanhood, motherhood, just life in general. So hopefully that helps somebody. And tell us how we can find you on Instagram. If you want, I don't know. Are you social media like?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I recently deleted my old social media where I had a whole bunch of followers. And
has it been therapeutic or?
Yes. I deleted it because it was just too much people that I don't even really. It was just a lot of people from my past. It was just.
So don't find her.
No, but I did. No. I did reopen a new one, but it's kind of like a revamp because I still don't know what I want to do with it, and I don't want to have a. I told myself if I open up another Instagram, it was gonna be for a reason. Like I don't want to just me being like pictures of myself and my family. Like I do want to have a platform, but I just haven't figured out what I want to do with it yet. So I literally have like my only followers are just my family and maybe some like really good, like I have like maybe 20 followers. Like it's literally my sisters, my mom, you know, but I'm handpicking everybody and also I wanted to change my algorithm.
Let's talk about it because it's okay not to always have to be in the mix of everything. So do not follow her on Instagram right now.
But when I revamp it, or maybe this might be a revamp, I don't know what I want to do with it. But like I just wanted, I don't know if I wanted to make it like a positive quote page or like a
influencing,
uplifting. But I can't do the drama. I can't. I do follow the Shade Room just because. That's the ghetto newspaper. I can't stay off of the shade room. I love that's where I get all my tea, and that's literally it. That's the only, I used to be, but other than that, I don't follow. Everything that I follow now is like self-help, motivational, some Jesus. I'm a Jesus lover. I'm a Christ lover.
I love that.
So
I love that.
Anything that's not motivate, I don't want to follow anything negative, any God. Like I just can't. So my algorithm is literally just positivity.
So if you want a positive algorithm, follow in her footsteps, y'all. Just social media like positivity. I love that and I want to promote that. Make sure you follow BBM on Instagram and Mother Marge on YouTube. Until next